Sawadee Krap and welcome to another Wrestling Wednesday at the weekend. It's the weekend and you know what it means. Wrestling time here on the Funky Pod. So let's jump right into what happened this week in the two wrestling shows that matter. And what did I think about it? Because obviously that's what matters most to me. And to Vince and Tony too. All right, let's talk about Fight for the Fallen, AEW's Fight for the Fallen on Wednesday. Things kicked off with a pretty cool match and a pretty cool intro. We had Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows versus Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order. And Dark Order, I have to look at my notes. It was Evil Uno, it was Stu Grayson, and it was John Silver. Who did I forget there? Anyways, it was pretty cool entrance when the Dark Order came out and like Spotlight number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they were all left and right of the session. And Hangman Adam Page comes out. They walk to the ring and they all do, of course, the Brody Lee sign. It was pretty cool. The Dark Order Brody Lee thing. That was pretty cool. The match was awesome. John Silva. We all know that he's good, but it's in those situations, those few and short moments where the spotlight is on him, he shines really bright, I believe. So John Silva, even though he has like this more generic body type, not generic, I wish I would have those abs, John Silva. He doesn't look that exotic. But his moves are ridiculous, and his strength obviously too. So every time I see John Silva, I'm like, oh man, I didn't expect it. It's so good. There was lots of fun. Elimination match back and forth, and of course, the Good Brothers got eliminated on the Elite side, obviously. Of course, and Hangman was the last one standing for the Dark Order side, so to speak. He was 1-on-3 with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and then eventually he got the Young Bucks out there. But then, of course, Kenny Omega was using all of his world titles on Hangman and actually picked up the win with the One-Winged Angel. So we all thought, hey, this is going to be where Adam Page wins. Kenny Omega can stay protected, of course. And so that he gets his world title shot. But no, so the story now continues. The best told story in wrestling right now. The story continues. When will Adam Page get redemption? And it's a good story. I like it. It's been told ever since AEW started. So long-term storytelling. I'm a fan. I like it. As someone who teaches storytelling, I like this a lot. Good job. And now also social media, of course, they said, yeah, it's because they have this new pay-per-view coming up in August in Chicago. And you know what that means. And so they didn't want to take away the Hangman bus or didn't want to waste it then on the CM Punk, Daniel Bryan bus. So, makes sense. If that's true. Nevertheless, also the storytelling is just great, so I like it. Alex Marvez then backstage with the Bastard Pack. And of course, then Andrade El Idolo. Interferes and tells him he sucks and so on. Much better, of course. Like Andrade El Idolo has a very good way of saying things. Then we saw Ricky Starks coming out to celebrate and what should happen with a Ricky Starks celebration. Obviously, Brian Cage comes out, demolishes him. That was to be expected. Then we see a video, and now they're entering wrestling nerd territory because Hiroshi Tanahashi on the screen, and he's challenging the winner of that night's NJPW New Japan Pro Wrestling's US title match, NJPW, so the forbidden door is still wide open, and I'm not sure how many people in the audience knew Tanahashi. If you follow New Japan, you know Tanahashi, but not sure how many people in the audience actually follow New Japan. But that's going to be cool. So Tanahashi in the building on the screen. Then we had Santana and Ortiz versus FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dex Hardwood. And so Dex Hardwood, first of all, what to be expected? Brutal back and forth brutal, old school, vintage tag team action from both sides there. But then I think Dax Hardwood. I did not watch Porno before. Dax Harwood. Sorry. Get hurt. Like, I know he hit the thing between the ring and the turnbuckle. He was bleeding. Like, he hit it and was bleeding profusely. He was bleeding a lot. I attended the medical staff right away, and then they just winked the finish with like a DDT from Cash Wheeler, I believe, to Santana or Ortiz, I forgot. Yeah, good, decent match until then, and of course you have to be go safety first. I hope Dex is okay. Then Tony informed us that the Tony Khan announced another major new live event, and the first dance will be in Chicago in the United Center, August 20th. It's called Rampage. It's in Chicago. It's soon. Then we have backstage interview again with Darby Allin and Sting standing there, looking. Darby said there's only one place for men to prove themselves, and that's in AW. Especially if they think they're the best in the world. Pop! Woo! Why did he say it? You know why he said it. So let's see if that's just all a big troll job or if it's actually going to happen. Okay, then we had the IWGP United States Champion, the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer, without Jake the Snake Roberts this time, by the way. What happened to Jake? Versus Ikoleo with King Haku. Sorry. Excited. It was kind of fun to see Haku just on a TV again, doing his Haku stuff. The Death Claw, or whatever you call it back then. Hikuleo is a giant, like huge, taller than Lance Archer, but of course Lance Archer has gone on a kind of a run right now, so eventually Lance Archer won, but Hikuleo was a decent showing, I believe. I didn't know that he's also in the Elite in New Japan, so yeah, decent showing. Then back to Alex Marvez. It looks like Alex Marvez is the most important person on the show this time around. He tries to interview Cody back in Gorilla, but then of course what happens? Malachi Black ambushes Cody and introduces him to his knee. Okay, then we see another vignette promo by Miro, the Redeemer, and he says, God's favorite champion will fight Lee Johnson. Lee Johnson? All right, we then had the Hardy Family Office, Angelico, and the Private Party, I say like this, versus Jurassic Express, the Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and for people listening, I'm doing the Christian Cage move right now. So, and Christian Cage, of course. Obviously, back and forth, they're trying to cheat, didn't work. Eventually, of course, Christian Cage and the Lucha Boys, not the Lucha Boys, the Luchasaurus and the Jungle Boy, get the win. And afterwards, the Blade comes out of the crowd and just punches Christian Cage with brass knuckles, takes him down. So the Blade hired gun for the Hardy family front office. All right, last and least, the 5 Labors of Jericho, labor number 2. No rules match between the Painmaker, Chris Jericho, versus Nick fucking Gage. And the best thing about this match was MJF on commentary. So I can appreciate hardcore death matches. I can. Even for last week, John Moxley with the barbed wire and stuff. So I can appreciate them, but if it's just brutal for the sake of being brutal and not for storytelling purposes, I don't know. And then the ending, I mean, lots of blood. Jericho was bleeding so much, and he had a pizza cutter to the face and stuff like this. I mean, yeah, but and then they had like 1,000 light bulbs, those I don't know, fluorescent light bulbs just over the head and stuff. Yeah, and then eventually he set up like a glass pane and wanted to push Jericho through, but Jericho countered when he was on a turnbuckle and just basically suplexed him from the turnbuckle through the glass pane. it's always like the guy who sets it up always goes through, right? Like it's because he sets it up for himself to make sure it's safe. Yeah. In the end, it was lame because Jericho was bleeding and then Gage went down, get a few more of those light bulbs, and then Jericho just counters, takes a light bulb or two, hits it over Gage's head, and then hits the Judas effect, which is still a lame spinning elbow, and then that was it. That was lame. Best thing was MJF on commentary. He's like, why doesn't he stay down? Oh my god, that's so cool. I like how Nick Gage is effing up Jericho, but overall, it was a bit disappointing. The labor number 3, of course, got announced by MJF, and labor number 3 will be Chris Jericho facing one of his greatest rivals ever. He will face the Juice, Juventud Guerrera, next week. Yeah, that was a bit lame. It was just bloody for the sake of being bloody, and I don't know, not a big fan of that. The story just wasn't. This Nick Gage guy is, apparently like a legend in whatever he's doing usually, but this was just not fun for me. Overall, the show was good again until the very end. And it was not a terrible match. It was just like, eh. All right, then we saw SmackDown that just ended right now. Of course, starts and ends with John China back in the main event picture. And let's just talk about right away, because that was kind of like stupid. So in the opening promo, he kind of hates on Finn Balor. No, he says like, try to Finn Balor, but clearly Roman Reigns avoids me and instead faces Finn Balor. Like, great babyface, shit talking the other babyface. Roman Reigns picked up on that, and then at the end of the show, the final contract signing segment, Roman is like, did you hear to Finn Balor? Do you hear what he said about you? Huh? Yeah, so I agree with that, actually. Anyways, Roman signs the contract, and then before Finn Balor can sign the contract, Baron Corbin looks really shitty right now. Awesome job. Comes in, takes out Finn Balor, and tries to sign the contract by himself. Because as we all know, you can't just walk into any contract negotiation and can take out one of the participants and sign for your behalf, and then you get what they actually would have gotten. So next time there's a contract negotiation in the NBA, you just take out Kevin Durant, walk in, sign instead of him, and you get all the money that Kevin Durant would have gotten. That's exactly how it works. But it's not all, right? So Baron Corbin wants to sign. John Cena comes out. John China is like, yeah, take out Baron Corbin. And now he's signs by himself. He's signing Cena. First, that's a children's children's signature. Also, you misspelled China. And what the yes, wrestling isn't real, but come on, you can't just take someone out and sign instead of them. Like, what in the world? That's why now they F up the Roman storyline with John China in there. Oh, it was so good until now with the Roman stuff, and now they even had a promo thingy, like the Summer of Cena. Should be Summer of China, but the Summer of they effing the Reign storyline up again. It was so good until now. That's really I hate it. I hate it. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to calm down. That is really, really, really. And just think about now, obviously Balor will obviously fight Corbin, right? Yes, Baron Corbin is doing a good job being like the outcast, down on his luck guy right now, but I don't want to see Finn Balor against Baron Corbin. That was terrible. Okay, let's move on. What else do we have? We have Sasha Banks returning. She saved Bianca Belair from a beating by Carmella and Zelina Vega. Bianca Belair is like twice the size of both of them, so she could have done it by herself too. But Sasha Banks comes out, saves her. Then, of course, in old school Teddy Long fashion, we get a tag team match, player, between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega and Carmella, of course. Of course, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair win the whole thing. Obviously, no problem there, bank statement. And then Belair is like they're celebrating, dancing, and then all of a sudden, of course, Sasha Banks backstabber bank statement on Belair's. There's no more celebration for Bianca, and she locks in, beats her down more, holds up the championship, and then locks another bank statement in and holds on the bank statement until SmackDown goes off the air. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they had to do this. Like, why would Sasha Banks all of a sudden she lost the championship to her, be friends with her just because they won an beat for the best match or whatever? No. So that makes sense. The storytelling here makes sense again. Glad Sasha Banks is back. I just worry that they're gonna rush it a bit too fast and just have Belair defeat her again, and that's it. But yeah, good. Made sense. What else did we have? We had Rey Mysterio, Booyaka 609 versus Jimmy Uso, and this time Rey Mysterio defeats Jimmy Uso with a support from Dominic, who now used the same trick that the Usos used to pin the Mysterios twice. Now he uses the same trick, like pushing his legs against his dad while he's covering to win. That was okay, the match, because they're just good tag teams, of course. They're good wrestlers in there, but from a storytelling point of view, that's the theme of today's episode. From a storytelling point of view, this is so predictable. Like week A, you have Dominic and then Uso, and then week B, you have Rey and then the other Uso. And then next week, we can switch it. Or maybe have a tag team match again. We had a 24/7 championship between Reggie, like all doing flippy stuff and so on. And his entrance to the ring with a trampoline, clearly, right? It looks even worse than Sin Cara's, like sideways. Like, what the and he fought with Chad Gable, but then as soon as he had like somewhat like the upper hand, Otis interfered, DQ, then that's what it was. So yeah, nice. We had Big E, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. It just hurts to have Cesaro back in the mid-card. He was so close to being like top of the mountain. Shinsuke Nakamura got a huge pop coming out, like the whole audience was singing his theme song still. So, man, he also deserves so much better. Luckily, Big E has the Money in the Bank briefcase, which means even if he's in the mid-card right now, he's going to jump in the main event picture rather soon. But it just sucks for the other two. They manhandled Apollo Crews a little bit, and Apollo Crews even ate the cover. So are they already giving up on Apollo Crews, WWE? And also nothing with Commander Aziz. Like, It was a bit surprising that Apollo Crews takes the clean cover here. We then see Edge coming out. Then Seth Rollins attacks Edge on stage before he can go to the ring. He takes a camera, like the TV production camera, and throws it in Edge's face and takes Edge out that way. And then Rollins cuts a promo like, if I can be Universal Champion, neither can Edge. Ha 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 ha. Like, that's a very basic heel thing. If I can do it, he can. Ha ha ha. Also, his outfit is still ridiculous. Like, not in a heat generating way ridiculous, just like, what the way ridiculous. So, man, he's such a good wrestler. Let him do something like this. This right now is just SmackDown is always like on the brink of like being cool, and then they pull stuff like Cena or the Rollins stuff, and like, So it was a decent show, not a great show, and really having John Cena back in there, they would not have needed him. Like, I mean, he's back, yeah, and he's gonna do something with The Rock probably for WrestleMania next time around, I guess. But it's still so far away. Maybe Survivor Series, right? It's like where The Rock debuted. But still, I don't know. The Roman Reigns thing was so intriguing. And now it's like, Roman Reigns, Edge, yes. John Cena. Oh, but maybe that's just, again, me hating. What do you think? How did you like SmackDown? How did you like AEW this week? What were your favorite matches? What didn't you like? Shout out social media at funkitpod, email funkitpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe this podcast video. That really helps. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It also helps to get seen. So thank you for this. Yeah, that's it for this week. Don't forget, always kick out the two. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you and talk to you soon. Sawadee Cup.